Hello, and welcome to my mess. I'm actually going to make something this time. It's been a while since I've done a tutorial type thing, and especially a long time since I've started something and just made it without having a sample to show first. So let's hope that the idea works. So what I've done is I have a playing card box. And I don't know if you knew this or if you've ever paid attention. This one did close like a normal box, but most of them seem to open this way as far as having the seam. So it's like it's one long piece. And so I had to hunt till I found one that worked. I've already glued this side down just for stability. And I folded this part, the first flap down, just because there was a hole in it. And then I'm going to fold this one up to be a pocket. I will cover the inside of this. So I was just playing around, and I hope my idea is kind of cool. It's different. I took the measurements. This is 3.5 this way and 5 5/8 this way, cutting this part off. So if you do not have a card box, you could easily cut you a piece of cardboard at 3.5 by 5 5/8. And then I score it. And I score it, I have already measured, it's 2.5 inches from here to the edge and 2.5 from here to the edge. So I'm going to put it here and I'm going to score it 2.5. And then I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to score it 2.5. So you definitely have your score marks there, and everything's ready to go. And you just fold it. And you have basically the same thing that I'm going to have here, because I am going to cut this off. In fact, let's do that real quick. I hope this setup works. I'm trying a new place. The problem is I work so much right here that I can't seem to get the camera in quite the right place. This will have to do. So basically it's going to be the same thing. I just happen to, with the card box, have the extra flaps. No big deal. You can make pockets or do whatever you want with this. So just a little tip. My little scoreboard, you can't see the numbers. So I colored it with a graphite pencil. Now I can see them. Just a silly little thing, but it works. So I take this and I take 3 playing cards. And you put one on the front, and then you'll glue one to the back. And then I cut out, this was the 8 of spades, and just so that I have some kind of suit right there. And then we'll glue those down. Now, because these are shiny, I'm going to just kind of rough it up a little bit. And to me, it's easier to hold it because I can feel the amount of pressure I'm putting on it. I'm just going to rough that up in my little piece. And I'm just using a glue stick. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I love my glue stick. And the brand I use is Scholastic. Nobody pays me for them. I buy them all myself. Go through lots of them. But they're the only one I found that works and stays. But you need to burnish. And now I'm going to do this one. I'm going to just cover the whole thing. And put it on here. Now, because I've got the little tabby spot, my glue's showing through, so I'm just going to kind of smash it down a little bit. Burnish. And you would do the same thing with your piece of cardboard. Your cards will fit perfectly on there. And if you have a set of cards that's a different size, just take your cardboard, your big piece of cardboard, and lay your 3 cards on there, glue them on, then cut it out. Then you know it's going to fit. But I just like the idea of doing this. And I guess we're not having a pocket because I glued them all on, but the pocket would be up here. And the pocket should be down here for the direction of the cards. So I guess we're going to cut that one off too. I have made books where I've done that upside down before and left it, but I don't really like it because things still fall out. So, to cut my papers, I have a stack of papers here, and I have one here that I can cut. I made sure you didn't have to watch me cut papers for an hour. And I did the measurements from here to here. And I'm sorry if I keep poking this in the other direction to show you because my laptop is over here and my camera is straight down and I keep thinking I got to show the laptop. So anyway, we have, this is 2.5 and 2.5, and this is 3.5, just like an ATC. So I have these, and I wrote the measurements down on my handy little tablet over here, the white part of my Tim Holtz mat. And of course you want to double that to get your pages. So the pages are 4 3/4 and 3 1/4. And actually this is 3.5, but I like to have a little give in it, and that way if your pages are bigger, they stick out, that's cool. But if you want them all to be kind of the same size, that's what you do. So this one's already been cut to 4 3/4. So now I will just take this and cut it at 3 1/4. And again. And again. I may have more than I need for papers, and I may not have enough. I'm not sure. I just cut up a bunch of papers and figured we could go from there. I have some painty papers, several different kinds. I have some plain white. I have some old book pages, some more book pages. This is a piece of ledger. This is some graph paper, somebody's kind of logbook kind of thing, and some more painty papers. And then this was an old time book for the train workers. I'm not sure if they're all conductors or what they are. They're a little long because this is the size of the book. So just cut them for now. I can trim them off if I decide not to. But I was thinking when I get them in, they might fold over and make a side pocket, which I think would be really cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to sort our papers. And there's no rhyme or reason. I'm thinking we can do, we're going to count on 3 signatures. But it's pretty tight in there. I mean, it's about a 1/2 inch, but so we'll do like this. Because there's 3 different painty papers. And we'll do the graph paper. There's only 2 of these, and there's only 2 of those. And these have already been folded. The book pages. Oh, this one's cut in half. Oh, not cut in half. There we go. And then we have 3 of these and 3 of these. And we'll just do these 2, and we'll put one over here. And we'll probably put the other one in somewhere. So, you can take them and fold them all at once and then hope they stack in there right. That's not something I usually do. If you have a bunch of thin papers, it's usually not too bad. I will do 2 or 3 at one time. I'm just going to fold them. Now, you could score these on your scoreboard. I would be fine. I'm just going to do this, but then I'm going to pull them apart and score, burnish them. So, And this one will be just one of them. It's already folded. I keep wanting to fold it again. And, you know, I trimmed these on paper trimmer, but it's always a possibility that they're not quite the right size, you know, because not paying close enough attention or whatever it is. So I have one signature already folded. And put them together however you please, whatever you like, and any order is fine. I'm going to put one of these right in the middle. And that does stick out quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and fold, put it in there correctly, and fold this one in. And it will either be a pocket or a full page that folds out. So if you want to do some drawing on it, you can easily do that. And I'm not worried about if it's even or not because it's in the center regardless. So there we go. There's one signature. And you will fold all three signatures and then we'll put them in the book. And for now, I think we're going to pause it and I'll come back when this is done. I sure hope this works. This is a whole new camera, so this is kind of new, and I'm back with this. And yes, I had entirely too many papers. I went from 9 down to 6 because I wanted to stay with 3. I like it. It's still full, but I think when we get it sewed in and pushed on those and stuff, I think we'll be okay. So to do this, we're going to take this. And there's so many ways to do it. This is just how I do it. And I'm going to grab my Grinch pencil here. Isn't he cute? And I'm going to measure this. And this is, let's see if the centimeters gives us a better. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to measure this. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's basically 5/8 of an inch. And I need to do 3 rows. So now I have to do math in front of the whole world here. So if I do 1/8 in and 1/8 in from the other side, and then right between them. It doesn't have to be perfect, just really close. So we're going to draw 3 lines. And we're going to visually find the center. And we're going to do a line on that. And then we're going to come in about 1/2 inch from the top. And do a line there. And the same way with the other side. Okay, so we've got those marked. I'm going to take one of the pages I didn't use, and I'm going to turn it around so the words are here, or in the inside. So I'm going to mark this, lay this right here, because this is the size of our pages. So we want to center this, and we're going to mark right here, and right here. And then we'll put this in the center. And this is our template to punch the holes in our pages. So I will go ahead and lay it in here. I usually paper clip my signatures together so that they are lined up and tucked in as tight as possible in the fold. And then I put the paper clips on. And there's so many ways to do this also. You can use a mouse pad. You could use a stack of old magazines or an old book to get this down in the crevice. My husband made me a wooden signature hole poker. I don't know what to call it. But this is small and there's not a lot of paper, so I'm just going to hold it like this. I'm making sure my fingers are out of the way. And I'm poking the holes. And how big you make them depends upon the size of your needle. And you do that with all 3 signatures. And then with your this one, you want to poke a hole at the intersection of each one of these lines. So I'm sorry if my hand is in the way, but I'm not sure I can do this otherwise. And you can go back and poke the holes through further if you want. Make them a little bit bigger. It's actually not a whole lot bigger, so I'm not going to mess with that. So I have chose some black because I have clubs on the back side. Okay, I'm sure somebody's going to put it in the comments. I cut the flap off because it was upside down. But it was upside down if you hold it this way. But if you hold it this way, it's not upside down. And this is how I intended it. So the jack was on front, so it would have been perfect. You can tell I don't play a lot of cards. So we're going to take this approximately 3 lengths of the book. I'm going to go a little bit further, and maybe I won't have to rethread my needle. I'm using waxed cotton, and I have a pretty good sized needle, only because it's one of the few that I could find, and I'm not sure where the others are. They're in a zipper little bag, and I used them for something else somewhere, and I can't find them. So here's my little secret. If you have waxed thread, if you take even the needle or a bone folder, your scissors, even your fingernail, and smash that, it's nice and flat, and it's going to go in almost any eye of a needle. So that's what we're going to do. And here you want to determine where you want your, well, you'd want to determine which one of your signatures is first, second, and third. I like this one. And so this is going to be my first one. And I'm going to, I don't want my strings on the out. I mean, there will be strings here, but I don't want the ties on the outside. I want them on the inside. So I'm going to take the template out because I've already used it. I don't want to sew it in. I don't need it in there. You start in the middle. And you just pull it through, give yourself a decent tail. I always say give yourself enough tail that you can tie a knot. If you struggle, that's kind of why I do extra long, because there's no reason to struggle tying a knot. So now I'm going to go up to this, and I'm in the first hole of the first row, and then come through this book cover and through the pages. And sometimes when you come through, you miss a little bit and you get an extra hole, and you know what, it's never hurt my books yet. So now I'm going to go down to this and go in that first hole and pull it through. And what we're doing is called the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. When you pull your strings, when they're nice and, to get them nice and tight before your last bit, you pull the direction the thread. So this thread goes this way and then in, so I want to pull it this way. So I'm going in this, like a continuous loop. So now I'm going to take this and go back through the second hole. And you need to come up on the other side, but it's really not a big issue. You can see both of mine are on the side of this. And so I'm just going to take my needle through here, and now there's one on each side. Remembering which direction you came from, because if you do pull the wrong direction, you can easily just slice right through those papers. And tie a knot. You can cut these off as close as you want, or keep them long and put dangles on them. I want this to be a small, not frilly book because I hope to maybe carry it in my purse and use it. And so there's the first signature in our book. And I'm just going to keep smashing it around, and there we go. We have one signature in. So I will be back with the other signatures so you do not have to watch me sew every one of them, and I shall return. Hello. So I'm not got this new camera figured out, and I came back and sewed in one more signature so you could see that, and thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So one of the pages I tore out was some of the painting papers. So I glued it on the front and the back. It was a little smaller and the cardboard was showing, so I took just a plain black paint marker and went around the edges. And so it's all pretty now. And now you have a cute little junk journal with a couple of fold-out pages, and you can go in and add whatever you want to it. You could make some pockets, you could glue on things, and you can just write on them. You know, do whatever it is you want to do. If you want to put a closure on it, you're welcome to do that. You can do so many different things. You could just even take string and tie it around it in a bow. But I like the concept of the cards and as being the cover. But again, you could redecorate that. You know, maybe you want to do a little collage and something like this and a little piece of lace sticking out, or, you know, anything you want to do is cool. But that was our little book, and only made out of a basic plain card deck and then some papers. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy.